drop a like and do share. Leave your comments and do not forget to subscribe for more videos.
Hello and welcome to Edupedia World.
Welcome to SAP UI5 training session. In this session, we'll be seeing formatters. So how we gonna format text? So that is very important. Why we gonna use this formatter is whenever we get any text. So we're gonna use a formatter. If you want to change the text from lowercase to uppercase, or you want to make any changes, so that time you will be using formatters. So how you're going to use formatter is with a formatter inside. So we'll be using path that time. So we'll be taking the example and we'll be taking a table example itself, and inside that we'll be using a formatter. So there's an exercise also. See, we have a solution for this. This is the one, text data. So this is a formatter. So how we're going to use formatter is we have to go here. Suppose we have the first name. We have binded a property, right? So to this property we're going to add a formatter. So how it will be, we're going to see that today. So to this value, for that formatter we have to declare a separate file called util. So that is utilities. So utilization of formatter, other functions. So formatters are nothing but other functions which we can use other than controller. Usually in controller we'll write a logic and we'll write functions such as live change or on click, button press, etc. So we create a few folder called util. So in this util we'll create a formatter.js. As I told you before, whenever we create a file in views, we consider it as a view.js. So whenever we create, so now we create a formatter.js. It is not a view, it's a separate file which we are creating for formatting our text and anything which we want to format based on the text we receive. You can say finish. So once the formatter is done, we'll be going here and we'll see the format. So first we declare the formatter name and then we'll write it. So how we're going to declare is jquery.sap.declare. So when we declare like this. When we require, we use jquery.sap.require. How we will do it, we'll see that. So once we declare it, we are naming the file. So we want to access this anywhere outside. So that's the reason we are using util.formatter, and util.formatter like this we have to give, and you have to open it like a variable. Open it. Here we have an objects. So here you write your functions. Here we write functions. And our function is now uppercase. So how we write a function like this? Function, C is missing. Function, parent rows, we are not. So we are, from there we will pass a text will pass. So that text will have to be converted to uppercase. Good. To upper. So how we gonna do? There are predefined functions. If you want to check, you can check like this. If you want, you can check like this. You have to go to a browser and then you have to press F12. Once you press F12, so once you clear this, you will be seeing a blank screen. Here you will be writing, you will be taking any variable like text text equal to some text, all small. Okay, have taken this text. Now when you type this text dot, then you'll get a list of functions. So you can use to uppercase like this. As you do, every text is changed to, yeah, when you type text will be small only, but here you are doing it to uppercase. You are using a function like this. So you have to use this to uppercase now. Clear? If you want to use predefined functions, you can use like this. Okay, you can mathematics also you can use. Okay, math so and so. So when you say math, there is so and so, like pi value. We can use square root of so and so. You can make use of it. Okay, so like this we can use JavaScript functions that you can check as per your requirement. As our requirement for today is to change it to uppercase. This is to upper case, uppercase, and we're gonna take it in a new text. New text. So we're gonna declare this text where new text. We are declaring, and we are using it in the right, and we are saying return and text. When we say end text, yeah, end text, then we're gonna save it. So once we save, this will be done. So new text will be written. Now we have defined the formatter. We have defined the function, and now we have to require this. So how do you going to require? We have to copy this declaration and we have to use the same declaration in our controller. So which control is used for table view.js? We're gonna check that first. So we have used first. So we'll go to the first control. First controller. So here we have to include. So how do you gonna include? You're gonna paste whatever you have declared. Just you have to replace declare with require. So it's jQuery.sap.require util.formatter. This is how we're gonna declare it. Alright, so first we'll check whether our file is loaded or not. Because in the resources, when we go in SAP like this resources, once we load, we have to get different like this. Okay, in this ends like SAP resources, SAP like this, we have to get our util folder too. So we'll see how the util folder is. So we are not getting the formatter. So how we're going to do this is If we place this util folder, copy and paste it in this SAP UI5 app 2, then it will be loaded and so that it will be seen. What is the difference? I'll tell you. So once we load it, okay, we are not able to load it. There is a first controller from util. See, it is not saying the util is not there. So there is an error. Resource util formatter is giving an error. So we'll change it to SAP UI2 here. We're going to save it. Why it is not giving error is once we check index.html, we are loading resources SAP UI5 app 2. So it is not checking a util once we load it one time. So that is a issue. So we'll check index.html. Once we check index.html, see, we are loading the resources. That is the reason we are not able to load a util this. So we have to change our name. So we're going to use this util only. There is a formatter. In this formatter, we're going to add that small thing. So we're going to add this and save it. Now we're going to refresh this and check. Yeah, now it's done. Now we'll go to the sources, and in this resources we have seen resources format. Is it coming? Right? So we'll be using this function, we'll be using for uppercase. So how do you do it? In the JS, we go to a table view. In this table view, there's a value, right? Property. And in this, we're gonna write a formatter. So what is the definition of this? See, value path formatter. Value path formatter. So we are binding the value here. So what we have to give it here is the flower bridge. You will be flower bridge path. You have to set this and comma, and you have to say formatter, formatter colon, and the paste your formatter. That's it. Close it. So how are we gonna do it? See, path like this. We'll check. See, path. You have given the path, and you have to write formatter and give your function name. So what is the function name? It is upper SAP UI5 app to util.formatter dot upper case. So this is our function. Okay, now we'll see it is going to change it or not. See, it's not returning anything. Why? We go to the console. So here it has to come usually, the uppercase. So once we load it, okay, here this is not coming. Why it is not coming? Because why it is not coming? Because this is syntactically wrong. how you gonna use it is, we can't use it in the bind property. So here we'll be writing this, and we don't use a bind property now. We'll be using a value here inside this value, and there'll be a colon. So in this we'll remove. So here like this we can do, right? So you're gonna delete this. So this is coming here. This is an extra. Yeah, no, that's a problem. So we're gonna use the path over here. So we'll use like this. So there is no need of this and no need of this. So we have something like this. So like this we have to write. Okay. So in this we'll be using formatter. So like this we use. And this is the template. So here we have used CO text, comma this value has a property like this. Okay. So this is a text field. Inside text field, this SAP value we have given like this value, and a open brace and a path and a formatter. Open brace path and then a formatter. A path and a formatter. And a format. The one I'm going to save this. So this is a formatter. We have given this is what we have given, and we are going to close this and then comma, and this is the one which is going to know. Okay. So this was the extra braces. This is how we're going to use formatter. Okay. This is a formatter. So it's a function. So function has a flower braces. Okay. So we're gonna refresh our page and see. Now there is an error inside this. It says that table unexpected. This. So there are few errors. We have to correct that. So we have given the path and the formatter. We are setting up. There is one missing. We fixed it, and now so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna send this. So now we have to see. We have to make few changes in the formatter.js. So in this formatter.js, close the other one. Yeah, we close the other one. So we have the SAPUI5 app to util.formatter will take. So if the a text is there only, we'll be changing it to upper text. If the a text is not there, suppose, then we'll not use this. So what we have to do is we have to add if a text, then only do it, else nothing. Don't return anything. All right. If the a text only, return text. If not, return nothing. Okay. Then what we have to do now, we'll run our application. Once we run our application, this C has been changed to all uppercase. So you want to change it to the lowercase, you can have it here. So here lowercase. Yeah, I'm going to save this and I'm going to run this application again. See, it's all lower now. See, like this we use formatter. So what we have done so far is, in the table view, for a text field we have taken, there is a property called value. For this value we want to apply a formatter. So we have given a path, and path is nothing but our model property. So once the model property comes, then we use a formatter, and then we used a SAPUI5 app2.util.formatter.uppercase. So this is a function which we write it here. So we have to copy everything from here and dot uppercase. So if you want to add a new another, so I'm going to revert back changes and I'm going to take, yeah, now I'm going to use the same function for a lowercase. So how are you going to, comma separated always, you can write functions like this. So this is a lowercase now, lowercase, and save it, and here to lower I'll be doing it. Yeah, to lower, and I'm going to save it. I'm going to run the application now. So once I run the application, see, it is changed to uppercase now. Now we'll change the first name AI, right? So we'll be changing it to lowercase. So how are we going to do that now? In the table view.js, we're going to use this entire thing, copy, and in this bind property we're gonna use, so we'll say, yeah, and then we're gonna paste our code, and we're gonna go Control Shift F. It will be formatted. It is not formatting. Why? Because it has taken one extra flower base. So now see, it has been formatted. If there are errors, the format will not work. Control Shift M for Control Shift F is to format. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is, to the text field, the first name, we're gonna do value, path, and the formatter. The formatter's function, and we're gonna use a lower now, lowercase, and I'm gonna save it, and I'm gonna run my application. What I have done, in the text field, instead of bind property, I'm directly binding it like this with the floor basis. Value, a path I'm giving, T model, the modular path, and the formatter. Formatter is always given like this, formatter, and the formatter function name. So function name is this, and you have to run it. So once you run it, this will be formatted. See, the first name, what we have given the module path is wrong. So what mistake you have done? The last name. So it has to be a first name. It has to be, we'll check the model. It has to be a name, normal name. So save it, and then we're gonna run this. Once we run, we will see all cap, small. Okay, so this is how the formatting is done. So similarly, we can have a different formatters. So depends on the requirement, you can add formatters. So how we gonna do a formatting? So first, in any folder, when you load your local resources, so you have to go to index.html and check which local resources are using. It will be SAP UI5 app2, and then Inside this app2, I have created a util folder. Right click it, say new and folder, and then you create a util folder like this. Inside this, create a new file that opens up your formatter.js creating. So once you click here, your format will be open. It will be empty first you have to declare here, declare, and then you have to write the formatter like this in a variable. So whatever the name you have used here, that name comes here, equal to, and here we write the functions like uppercase, lowercase. So multiple functions, comma, caret. So separated. So two functions, how you separate? By comma. So I have taken two functions. One is uppercase, another one is lowercase. Like this you will be writing. So how we write functions in JavaScript? In SAPUI5, this function, and we are passing a text from there. So if it is multiple text, you can use a multiple text like this. Depends on the parameter. So like this we use, and you're gonna save. So once we do, we're gonna return that text. So we're gonna write logic here. What do you want to do? For uppercase, it's simple. We want to just to upper, we want to do the text, and to lower, it is simple. We're gonna do to lower like this, and then we're gonna return it. And once we've done this, we have to go to the controller which we are using it. In our case, we have first controller. How we came to know this is first controller? We have to go to the view where you want to use your formatter. So in the table view, I went in the table view and I checked which controller I'm using. So the first controller. So I have to go to the first controller now, because I came to know that we are using first controller, and then I have to get that file so that I can use the functions in this controller related views. So we have to include this. Very important, very important. jQuery.sap.require we're gonna do, and then we'll go to the view, table view. Once we go to the table view, and we'll see where we want to add. My scenario is, my requirement is to use in first name and last name. So in the template, I am placing the last name here. So earlier it was a bind property something. So for you to use a formatter, I have changed it like this. It should be a value because the property name. In this value, you're gonna format it. So this is you're gonna format it. So how you gonna do? First, you have to send the path, and then your name, whatever the module name, and then formatter, which formatter you want to call. So like this, you'll be calling the formatter, and your value will go to this formatter, because here we have only one. If we have for multiple, how we gonna do it? That is also we're gonna check. Okay, we'll take a scenario where we are placing a first name and last name. That time we can have. I'm going to do that also. So simple. Hope you understand this. Include the path and the formatter, which formatter you want to call. So this is how we're gonna do it for the one parameter. So suppose if you want to pass, instead of one, we're gonna pass two. So how we're gonna do it is, in here we're gonna do it in the parts, and we'll do it in a two-way. Okay, one path here, and yeah, path, and we're gonna do one more like this. So first name, and I'm going to send a name also, and here I'm going to change, I'm going to combine, so join first and last name. So I'm going to join first and last names. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to go here, comma, so I'm going to save it. So I'm going to get it in the parts. So two parts, first name and last name I'm sending. I'm going to join this. So I'm going to use this formatter .js. I'm going to use a separate function called this, and here function, and here I'm going to get two texts. First is last name I'm getting, another is first name I'm getting. So I'm going to join if last name and name is not equal to null, and or f name is not equal to null. Now then I'm going to write it here. So I'm going to club two texts. So it is L name. How are you going to concatenate? By using plus symbol. So concatenating two names. So I'm going to return this. This is how I'm going to do. So first what I have done, now I have done it. So here last name and first name is there. We'll go here and we are joining like this, and in table view, how I'm doing it in a parts. I'm sending two values, and I'm fetching it in this join first names. So I'm going to here, in the last name I'm adding first name and last name here. So I'm going to refresh it. See, here the first name and last name comes together. So what I'm going to do now, I'm to give a space in between. So how you going to give space? Go to the formatter, and here we can give a space like this, empty space, and save it. Okay, this is how we concatenate in two strings in JavaScript plus. So once we go here and we're going to refresh, once we refresh, our change need to be there. Yeah, see, space comes in between. So like this we use formatter. Multiple parameters can be passed. So multiple parameters are passed. So as long you have parameters, you have to include like this. So input parameters comes here. Like for this function, we are joining first and last names. So we have given a last name as an input and first name as an input. We have to make sure what we are passing it from the table view.js. From the view, we are passing first the last name and then the first name. In the same fashion, we have to receive it in the formatters. So that is what we are doing. So here, so we have done the formatters. So in this same fashion, whatever I have declared in table view.js, I have used the same sequence. First I have taken a last name and then I have taken a first name. So similarly, L name, F name. If it is not null, then return this. This is how you're gonna write it for the multiple parameters. So you can add parameters so on like this, any number of parameters you can add, and you have to pass the values from there. Hope the formatter is clear now. So we want to add, you can try another example also. How do you calculate different types. If you want to check the type system, so if which data type it is, so you can directly check like this O text, and you can add a date. Mostly the formatters is used for the dates, to formatting the dates. So that is a very important thing, which is in a data type, dates. So suppose you will get a text in some other like dd mm y. So you want to change it to some other format, the date. That time you use formatter and you have to change accordingly. So we don't have any thing because you already know the basics now. How do you use the formatter? Similarly you can achieve it. So just there is a sample, you can try by yourself. Here we have, so this is what you can use directly, a date, the path, and you can use a type date. SAPUI model dot type you can directly use like this without using formatter. In the simple way you can use, and you can use the pattern like this. You can display that. So we'll take a simple control and we're gonna see it's not a valid. Please have 5 digits like this. If you want to have any validations, you can do like this. You can pass a message. So the formatters is used for the validations as well as formatting your text. So in this session, what we have seen so far is formatters, how we use formatters. We have to go it from the index.html, see the resources which is loaded, and create a formatters JS, and then you can add multiple. So how do you use multiple functions? Comma separated. Thank you. In the next session, we'll be seeing OData.